Hey, everybody, and welcome to the True Crime Squad. This is Katie Weaver, here with my sister, co host, and partner in crime, Christy Brower. Hello.
Hello, hey everybody. Happy Monday. This one came up quick.
We didn't have a weekend.
Not really, no.
How's it going,
But
though?
I'm
You have
glad to be
exciting
back here.
kitten news.
Oh, I do have exciting kitten news. If y'all have been following my journey of getting my Persian kittens, they are coming home in 2 weeks. They will be about 9 weeks old when we bring them home. I'm going
Yeah.
to show you a little picture of them eating with one of their siblings. Guys, they're eating hard food. Look at these
Oh,
babies.
they're going to be so ready
So,
to come home.
the two calicos are my girls, Bibi and
Hmm.
Gigi. And I am so excited. I talked with my cousin yesterday about our plans, and we decided that June 24th, which is actually also Katie's birthday, I'm
Happy
getting
birthday to me. You're getting
I'm
two cats.
getting I'm getting kittens for your birthday.
That's right.
So I'm so excited.
That's okay, as
Because
long as I'm
guess
not getting kittens for my birthday.
you will not be getting kittens for your birthday, no.
But
But
by
I will
proxy,
be,
yes,
they'll be making regular visits right here on the show.
I'm sure. Very excited.
I'm very
I
excited
love
about.
it.
Sandy is also in the room. I assume she's going to make an appearance at some point. She's rolling around on my rug right now. Um, the all day, she's
Mhm.
known. She knows when it's show day, guys. Every time I walk past my office door, she runs after me and meows like, "Is it on? Are we on? Are we on?" Because she knows now that she is podcast famous and needs to be joining the show every
Right?
time. I don't know
That's
how she's
right.
going to feel when Gigi and BB are here to join the show as well. Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm sure we're going to find out.
Yeah, we will.
Oh, oh boy. Well, wonderful. I'm excited. Well, we had our first show of the summer yesterday, and it started with a crisis. The booth two doors down from us received some horrible news just as they were setting up. One of the ladies' sons was being rushed to the hospital, not breathing. And so it was a huge panic. It was like wild. All the vendors ran over there
Super
and helped.
unsettling.
Yeah, all the vendors
Yeah.
ran over and helped pack up her stuff and get her and her sister. Well, she had already left, but get her sister going because they had just set up their booth, and it was super unsettling. And we all just worried all day about this little boy. But last I
Yeah.
heard, he was actually. It sounded like he was going to be okay, but it was terrifying.
Oh,
And
I'm so
her,
glad.
oh my goodness, she just tore our hearts out. It was just awful.
Just screaming and panicking like anybody, like any parent
Yeah,
would if you got that phone call.
yeah, of course, it was terrible. So, gosh, we're just still really holding hope that he's going to be okay. That was frightening. And then the fair itself was great. I even have a video. I have a live. I always do a live once we get our booth set up. And so I have a live to show you. It's from my cell phone and it was windy, so I apologize. The quality's not awesome, but you do at least get to see some of our
Yeah.
offerings and what we were up to. But then last night, it started to look kind of stormy. So about an hour before we were supposed to be done, Mars and I had started packing up a handful of things, like the hoodies, stuff that I really didn't want to have get wet. And then we were hit by like the most god awful storm, and it happened like in a
A
flash.
tornado?
Yeah,
I don't even know what it was. It was.
everyone was just. It destroyed both of our awnings. I think every awning out there was destroyed. There was
Yes,
like
I'm
eight
sure.
strangers holding on to the arms of our awnings for dear life,
Like
and
we were headed for Oz, my friends.
the wind was just pummeling. Our stuff was just blowing everywhere. And we're just like vendors, customers, anybody just ran to help. I had perfect strangers packing our totes,
Just
just
throwing shit
helping us
in, helping us
get
get
our
out.
shit out of there. Oh my
A
gosh, it was
poor
a
tarot reader, her
disaster.
cards blew away. Your
Oh
daughter
yeah,
ran a bunch of them down. It was crazy.
it was awful. And then it was done.
Yeah,
Then it was done. By the time we were packed up, it was about done.
yeah,
But
it really was.
it
It
was
was just
wild, but
a microburst from hell.
It was something. But the teamwork, the way everybody just, like, got together and helped, and people were still as we pulled away, somebody ran out and handed me yet another of my greeting cards that had blown away. And I think I have most of them, I hope. One shattered, but, I
Oh.
mean, such is life, and one of them looked to me like it actually did get wet, so it's probably shot. But,
Yeah, I found it on the ground in the gutter and handed it to you, and it was wet.
yeah, but the piece of glass will be okay, I could just make a new card for it. It's like, it's not the
Yeah.
worst. But holy cow, you guys, that was unbelievable. We're all holding onto the awning, and I'm thinking, "I don't even know what to do." I honestly don't even know what to do right now.
No, because it's lifting with all of us holding them
Mhm.
down.
This one girl helped us so much, and I don't know who she is, I still don't know who she is, but she helped us so much that I reached into one of my totes and gave her a gift, gave her a heart, because 'cause I'm like, "Thank you, my god."
You
What a disaster.
you
Anyway,
saved us.
yeah, but then it was over. So,
Yeah.
it was just crazy, but I'm gonna show you a little video, so, again, I apologize for the wind quality of it, but it's a fun look at what we had. Hey guys, we are over here at the Summer Solstice Market over by Burger Theory here in Idaho Falls. We're around back if you want to come see us. Please come see us. Here's some of the stuff that we have to offer. So Christy's offerings. She's got her gorgeous crystal lockets. And then she's got all these new fun fidgets. They're so cute. Like, look at this mushy. And they all have a liquid core, so they move inside. They're just adorable. Oh, oh. The llamas. Save the drama for your mama, llama. Yeah. And all of our little snails. Oh my god, they're all so cute. And more. And then I really got going on glass. I've got quite a few glass pendants put together. I think turned out really nice. I've got a few glass plant stakes that just came out of the kiln this week. And some copper bracelets and some slumped wine bottles that just make awesome little like cheese and cracker trays and stuff like that. And then I have my greeting cards. I did these a while back. They're so cute. They have a little glass ornament inside of them. And then they have these cool foiled cards that I also designed and made. And they're just freaking awesome. I think it would be cool to have a little stack of them so that when you need a card or a little gift, you've just got them.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they were out here.
This is probably what I'm the most excited about. These are Pocket Hug. They're glass hearts that I designed. Well, that I made, I guess, and designed. And they're just really cool. Like, I think for, again, if you have somebody who has a need, who's, going through a thing, they're cool. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of them, but I'm really excited about this project. And then, of course, Scott has been keeping the printers going nonstop. And he's got these cool new printers that print multicolor. So he's got all this cool stuff. Like, this one is the cherry blossom dragon. Isn't she beautiful? A lot of cute ones. This is the mushroom dragon, these two here. Anyway, and he also printed a bunch of eggs. Bigger ones and littler ones that some of the dragons will fit in, which is kind of a fun thing too. And of course, I always have bags. All my cute tote bags. This is my favorite. It says, "Have the day you deserve," which is a good way of telling somebody to shove off without being quite that aggressive. And some of our other jewelry, regular stuff. Scott's beautiful rings. And we have some stones. And then, of course, lots of foil art. Lots and lots of foil art. And I have some cups. I have a whole bunch of spinners. I designed a whole new set of spinners that are all Art Deco style. And I'm so in love with them. So if you want a spinner, this would be a really good time to pick one up from me because I've got a bunch of them. They're really pretty. And I've got a few cups. I didn't really get cups put together for this fair very well, but I've got a few. And Scott's got a bunch of hoodies. You have to dig through them, but this little voodoo hoodie has gotten to be really popular. Or if you're Team Bear, I have a couple of Team Bear hoodies. Now I have something that fell on the floor, but I really wanted to show you, so I'm going to pick it up. So, sorry about the terrible camera work here. But I made a bunch of new garden flags. And this one is my favorite. This is Pretty Raven. She says welcome. And then there's another raven right here that says Merry Meet. And this one because really it's just it's a direct representation of us, you know. The drunkest bunch of assholes this side of the campground. And I've got more flags too. And then Scott has a handful of way bigger dragons as well. So yeah. So that's what's up. So yeah, if you're around in Idaho Falls today. So there you go. That's it.
I think both of our necklace busts need some serious tape rolling. Holy shit. I couldn't believe the cat hair. I was like, oh my god. That was before the freaking hurricane.
You can't make those look good. The last one I had, I tried to wash it because it was dusty, and it looked so bad after that I threw it away and bought a new one. I'm just going to buy something else entirely. You just cannot save those. But anyway, but that's what we did. Yeah. So that was it. We had a lot of fun. Besides the storm, and that was just excitement. Yeah. And
Honestly, the storm, we were all laughing and screaming at the same time. Like, it was just hilarious what was happening, and also shocking what was happening.
I had this wrap around me, like, well, yeah, like it had sleeves. But when the storm started, it kind of blew it off, and it was around my neck and kind of over the side of my head, and I just stayed there while I'm like trying to pack shit up. And Mars finally was like, "Do you want to take that off?" That was a mess. Yeah, that was Mars sneaking up on me. No, Scott buys most of his dragon designs from Cinderwing. She's a designer.
He does, however, now design his color schemes.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. His dragons don't look like anybody else's dragons. I love that he's doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. The new printers, the bamboo printers, wow. They've just changed the whole game. It's wild. Yeah. So this is my Etsy, and you can also find Christy's store if you go to truecrimesquad.com. Well, either way, if you go to truecrimesquad.com.
Our stores are both there.
Both of our stores are there. A lot of that stuff is not there, but I'm determined to get my glass posted this week.
Mm-hmm.
And
you
also
get those garden flags and spinners up too, because they are so. I have both at my house, and I love them. They are beautiful.
I love the raven ones. There's 2 raven spinners too that are really pretty, but the raven flags. I have the every little thing's going to be all right from last year flag up, but it's kind of started to fade, so I think I might replace it and put up one of the raven ones because I love them.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Anyway, so yeah, more of that I hope we'll get up. But I did want to say that we had some listeners. We did have several listeners that came to see us at our booth. Some that we had never met before, which was so much fun. And I was really honored because 2 of the listeners that came to meet us that we had not met before were the 2 first purchasers of my hearts. And it melts my heart because I'm so excited about those. So that's
so cool. Both ladies bought lockets for me too, and I love my lockets. My lockets are not on my store, but they are going up on my store this week.
Yes.
I finally feel like I have some time to work on stuff like that. It's
yeah.
Yeah.
No malachite rings. No. Because malachite's hard to work with. The way you make those rings is you have to do a lot of grinding. And malachite's poisonous, so you can't.
You don't want the powder in the air.
Yeah. Not good. Yeah. Anyway, that's all. So that was our weekend. But we have a lot to talk about because Miss Sarah F. Boone was in court this week, or last Friday. And it was what you would expect. I'm going to tell you that the prosecutor's voice is quite a bit louder than Sarah's. So you may have to turn it up a little bit. She's a little quiet. But dude, you want to hear what she has to say cuz what in the world? But before that, Christy, you we covered a case last week that we well, ended up with some misinformation about. So we're going to clear it up today.
We are, and I'm still calling this a dumb criminals case because, friends, it is.
Mhm.
You may recall last week we did a story on Corey Harris, a rather hapless man who was on a Zoom hearing with the judge because he had been charged with driving on a suspended license. And we all laughed our asses off because the judge and everyone, and this was Judge Simpson out of Michigan, and he is hilarious. But everyone was rather stunned by the fact that he was driving while on the Zoom hearing, right? Well, we learned kind of at the end that, well, maybe this wasn't as straightforward as we thought. Maybe he didn't really have a suspended license, that this was actually an error in the state of Michigan. My friends, might I tell you that in fact, it was not. There is a lot more to this story, and I swear you do not know where this is going. So I've got a video
This
of
dude can't
Judge
quit
Simpson.
lying. He cannot quit
Uh,
lying.
you are gonna just die. This is so funny, and I
Mhm.
have a very positive update after. But let's just hear what Judge Simpson has to say in his follow up after that debacle on Zoom.
Quite frankly, your client has made the assertion that the Pittsfield Township, as well as this court, was acting on some type of defective or faulty information, which I will tell you, counsel, caused the court, given what the court did, to investigate what my ruling was. And I will tell you that that assertion is absolutely correct with reference to any faulty information that either came through to the Pittsfield Township Department of Public Safety or to this court ultimately at the May 15th hearing. And I think it needs to be stated, I've been asked for comments. I have refrained from comments, as is my normal practice is. This court with the pending case will speak on the record. And so I am going to make sure that the record is very, very clear as to what this court knows and what this court acted on May 15th. And we can start with this. And my basis for doing it is because of what was said about what this whole process was. And that an indication, counsel, and I know, counsel, you've been before me before.
Absolutely.
I know it is not coming from you, but you also know how I am.
I do.
And the thing is that if for whatever reason, the one time in my life I was wrong, I will say it and did. But when I'm not wrong and when people are not to blame, then it also needs to be said. So I will try to get through this as quick as I possibly can. But I will tell you, first of all, with any reference to your client having had a license on that day, and some indication or misunderstanding as to whether or not he had a license. Let me make it very clear, based upon what the court looked at, he has never had a Michigan license, ever, and has never had a license in the other 49 states and commonwealths that form up this great union. He has never had a license. In point of fact, when they suspended his license, and what people don't understand, when they suspended his license in Saginaw, they don't suspend the license. They suspend the privilege to drive in this state. Hence, for example, if he had had a Kentucky license, he would be able to drive everywhere that Kentucky would allow him to drive. He just couldn't drive in Michigan because his privileges had been restricted. I know you know that, but that wasn't at all said. But it doesn't matter because he didn't have a license. Ever. There is also then, and I will, when it is necessary, come to the defense of my sister courts, and I will come to the defense of Saginaw. They got a great chief judge. Chief judge answered the question. But I will tell you, that court and its friend of the court did nothing wrong. His license was, his driving privileges, better stated, were unsuspended in 2022. That required Mr. Harris to do something. He didn't do it. Therefore, the friend of the court was under no obligation to send anything to the Secretary of State. Now, I hated that I had to look at all of this, but when there's a question as to what I did, I'm going to look at everything to make sure that what I did was all in order. There's then an indication from that because that wasn't sent, there was a direct attack on Michigan's Department of Secretary of State's office, saying that the Secretary of State was somehow at fault. Let me tell you something. Secretary of State did what they were supposed to do. And in point of fact, they did nothing because they hadn't gotten anything from the court because Mr. Harris had not paid the reinstatement. This week, or the latter part of last week, once he paid that, Saginaw friend of the court did what they should do, and they sent it. Immediately, based upon the information that I have, the Secretary of State did what they do every day. They took that suspension off of his driving record, and he was then unsuspended. And then your client did what he needed to do with reference to the Secretary of State and paid a reinstatement. Okay. Just a second, Mr. Schiller. I'm going to let everybody respond because
Thank you.
I am not done yet.
Okay.
All right.
You covered a lot of the points for me. Thank you, Your Honor.
And so that came down to that. So the information at the time that I had, that Pittsfield Department of Public Safety had, was all correct at the time of both Pittsfield stop as well as the May 15th day. It was all correct. There was no error by anybody. It was a failure on the part of Mr. Harris to do certain things. Now, I grant you that sometimes that can be a complicated process, but it was certainly not anybody's fault that that didn't happen other than that wasn't paid. Now, here's the other thing, and I'm like maybe in church where I say I'm about finished now, but the other part of this is this stop was in October. Most of the cases that we've heard just in this last afternoon are driving while license suspended cases. That's part of my Wednesday afternoon. We go through great pains to try to get people their licenses back, which is really how it should happen. Between October and because I don't live under a rock, I actually watch things. You look very nice on TV.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There was something that was said that was very disturbing to me. And I'm just going to let you know because I believe in being fair with everybody. The question was asked along the lines between October of 2023 and the point in time of the May 15th hearing, was there an attempt by Mr. Harris to correct his license? Here's the part that was disturbing for me, so that you know.
Okay.
Mr. Harris indicated that at some point he had been involved in some accident. Then being involved into the accident that he was basically bedridden or at least housebound, he could not get to the Secretary of State. That was set up there, and I'm going to presume, because my knowledge of counsel, defense counsel is, I know you don't misrepresent anything.
Right.
You never do.
Right.
That's not true.
Okay.
He purposely stated that he could not get to the Secretary of State, which, for the way we handle things in this court, would have placed him in a whole different category. We would have tried to find a way. Let's figure it out. And the reason I know that is because Mr. Harris, on December 28th of 2023, do you know where you were?
December 28th, 23.
23rd.
2023.
I know I was laid up from my
You were
accident.
at the Secretary of State's office. And you were at the Secretary of State's office because you redid and got your new Michigan ID. I have the date. That's the date you did it. December 28th, 2023. You did. And so that you also know, and in all fairness to counsel, because I don't know if counsel knows this or not, the way I know that he's never had a license is because May 3rd, 1990, he was 19 at the time. May 3rd, 1999, he applied for his first Michigan ID. Counsel knows, so I do. You cannot have both. You either have an ID or you have a license. One of the two. He has religiously every year gotten a new ID. And so he knows that he doesn't have a license. And quite frankly, I just wish he would have said that at the beginning. And all of this hoopla could have been just put all aside. And we all go through the process as we do with all of the people coming here to try to get him his license back. But his falsehoods, misstatements are not going to fare him well in this court.
I put you
Holy
back on because you didn't put
cow.
yourself back on. Yeah, yeah. Not only did this man he was not driving on a suspended driver's license. He was driving on no driver's license his entire life, which he damn well knew because he had a state ID. He's lying that he couldn't get in there to get it done at the Secretary of State's office, and yet they have the date in which he came in person to renew his ID.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
Lion is confused. So in the US, there are two forms of state ID. You either have a driver's license, which you have to take a driving test and a written test, and you have to carry insurance and stuff like that to have, or you just have a state identification card, which still works as ID anywhere you need to prove your identity.
Mm-hmm.
This man has never in his life had a driver's license, but has most certainly renewed his state ID every year since 1999.
I found a picture on the internet of Corey's pants. They're right here. Because
Yes,
he's a liar, liar, pants on fire. Holy
he
shit,
is.
Corey. What are you doing?
And honestly, the judge was offended because if you will recall, Mr. Harris went on the news and maligned the entire state system because his driver's license was unfairly suspended, and
Mm-hmm.
no, it wasn't either. He never even freaking had one.
Yeah.
I just think
And
it's
indeed,
so
why
funny.
hasn't he had one? Why?
Yeah.
Why? He clearly drives.
Great news for Mr. Corey Harris. He has, in fact, obtained his learner's permit in the state of Michigan. This dude is 49 years old. He knew he didn't have a driver's license this whole time.
Yes.
His I didn't leave it in because it was too long, but um, his defense attorney spoke up trying to defend this fool and said that it's not his fault this went viral. He didn't put this all over the internet. And the judge said, well, I mean, he did speak to the media and lie to them. So, uh, that was super funny. And yeah, right. If you're from the US and you know the difference between a driver's license and a state ID. You
You
definitely do.
you 10 out of 10 do. He knew. He knew he was being a fool.
He surely did. So, um, anyway, I just thought that was hilarious. I know Judge Simpson took a while to get to the point there, but it was definitely worth it
Oh, it was worth
because
it. He's shady as hell. I loved
he
it.
is shady as hell. He's my new favorite judge, man. He is hilarious. But yeah, I was dying over that because people were like, "Well, it was kind of unfair, because he didn't, it was a mistake." Oh no, my friends, no, it was not a mistake. He knew, right? ID is cheaper because then you're not paying for car insurance. However,
Mhm.
this man we know drives a car because we saw him do it on
Mhm.
a Zoom hearing. So he's
Mhm.
driving. I mean, you can go to jail for that. Like,
Mhm.
how has he made it this long in his
Yeah.
adult life without a
Yeah.
driver's license and driving?
Yeah.
Right. Police always ask for ID. Um, and the whole song and dance about how he was just so laid up, Your Honor, from this accident. He couldn't go to the Secretary of State, except, of course, he could because that date is right on that ID, you guys. The day that you get it, it says the day that you got it. It
Mhm.
says the day that it expires, and then it also says the date that you got the new one. So
That is wild.
yeah. So anyway, that was quite an ending, and I'm glad that Mr. Harris has become now a law-abiding driver and has got his learner's permit at age 49.
We'll take
He
it. Yeah.
clearly does know how to drive a car. So it's good news for everyone, but I could not pass up the shade from Judge Simpson because he is
Absolutely.
hilarious. And with that, Katie, I am going to kick it back over to you for our main case.
Yes. Well, as you know, Sarah F. Boone was in court last Friday, whining and crying about her attorney. She's on number 8 now. And the judge finally said, "We're going to trial in October, Sarah. It's happening."
He sure did.
This shit's been going on for 4 years, almost 4 years from the time that her boyfriend died. And so the courts are pretty done with her. I think if she tries to fire this attorney, they might just be like, well, we're going to trial either way. We're done.
Yeah, he was pretty clear. He
Hmm.
he's having no more of this.
Yeah, this is over. Yes. So, of course, Jorge Torres was her boyfriend and the person that she killed. And this, of course, is the suitcase case where supposedly they were playing hide and seek, drunk hide and seek, and he climbed in a suitcase and she locked him up tight in there. And then and we've played these videos before, but he begged and begged and begged for his life. And she laughed, she taunted, she took videos on her phone, and then she went to bed and
He was in there
woke up
for
the next
like
morning.
more than 12 hours.
Hmm. Yep.
Oh,
Yep. And of course, he was deceased, and it's terrible. But she has been raising hell with the courts ever since. Holy shit. Yeah. She's just Taylor business in a different package.
mm.
But anyway, we're going to watch the hearing. It is 26 minutes long. It's a little long, but I think it's worth it.
Oh, it
No,
is.
I know it's worth it. Yeah. So again, she's a little quiet. You may have to turn her up a little bit, but
Well, she's sitting in the jury box, guys, because she won't sit by her attorney.
uh,
So she doesn't.
clear
She's
over there
not
by
liked.
herself because she's tattling on her attorney.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
Could you go get Mr. Cacciatore and Miss Cashman from outside?
Dave Catcher on behalf of the state.
First Cashman, I'm here for Ms. Boone.
All right. We set this matter this morning for a status hearing. Ms. Boone, good morning. Counselors, good morning. What is the status for where we find ourselves currently, Ms. Cashman?
I think that Ms. Boone wants to speak to you about that. Mr. Cacciatore and I have had email correspondence and a phone conference this week, and we believe that it can be ready to be set for a trial date late August, early September. I've got a trial certain murder in front of Judge Harris that's going to be a minimum of a week starting August 5th. I am out of state starting September 14th, I believe, for a week. And at this point, those are the calendar issues that I have other cases set, but I'm, as you know, Judge, waiting on pretrial and waiting to see what really goes and what doesn't. Obviously, I have other things on trial dockets through July, August, and September, but those are the for sures.
Okay, all right, thank you. Mr. Cacciatore, anything from your side of the ledger, sir?
No, I think, I think this court's aware of the date certain that we have, that were already set. Other than that, we're pretty amenable to probable those dates.
Okay, all right. Madam Clerk, if you could swear in Ms. Boone, please. Ma'am, good morning. Your lawyer advised that there was something that you wanted to bring to my attention.
Was that all that she said? Even though it's a basic whole, there is something that I believe that is wrong that should be brought to your attention. So I don't know, and not truthful with me all the time, if that was all that she said.
You've listened to everything in open court. You've been here. You've listened to everything that's been presented so far as to the discussions that Ms. Cashman has had with Mr. Cacciatore and readiness for trial and her dates of availability and unavailability. That's what's been presented to me this morning. You've heard the same thing that I've heard.
Thank you. I actually have an envelope for you that I would like to give to you regarding a letter. It's a lot easier for me to tell you in writing, and it's also put on the clerk of the court's website, so everyone is aware. I have never experienced anyone like Ms. Cashman, and I have repeatedly, the reason why I'm here is the whole hope thing, where she will change her disposition and her attitude towards me, and it doesn't matter how dumbed down I am to myself to try to coexist with her. I've even come up with a solution to have a pretend judge in the interactions with her, so she would try, hopefully, to treat me appropriately and professionally, which she does not do. One of my meetings, I got up and I walked out on her. The last time that I spoke to her was on a video visit that she tried to have in front of a 64 open bay bunk dorm, where I repeatedly kept asking her, please schedule a face-to-face, face-to-face, face-to-face. The last time we spoke was on May 3rd, where I got up and I left the room because I could not take how she was treating me any longer, and it's every single time. So much so that I have to incorporate a pretend judge in order for her to treat me somewhat appropriately. And I feel that she is untruthful with me and full-blown prejudiced against me, which I believe adds to her nasty attitude towards me. And I do not trust her. So I have prepared this for you. It's a letter and then a continuation of the letter from the video visit so you are aware of. And everyone constantly blames me that I am the reason why I am supposedly on attorney number 8, which I am not the reason for any of them. I put this in here also so you are aware. I refuse to be mistreated by her as my attorney. I'm shocked that she has a proposed trial date, considering the fact that I have not seen anything. I keep asking her for just a download of my phone or my medical records or for anything that I've asked pretty much all of the other attorneys as well. All of my questions that I keep asking her are in the letter to you. I didn't know if you would be the one to help me answer them or to spur her to finally answer them to me and hopefully truthfully. I don't know. As I've said to you before in the past, you said that you are not able to intervene regarding my letters. I still want you to be aware of what it is that I am going through still. And it's a matter of ethics and professionalism with how she should be treating me, and I shouldn't have to come up with a pre-planned judge in order for her to do so. And also some other things that I've been working on in the meantime that I would like everyone else to be made aware of. That I don't just sit and eat bonbons and watch soap operas all day. I fully apply myself at all times.
Okay. Where is the letter?
It's a packet of bonbons.
Okay.
I believe it's 58 pages.
Ms. Cashman?
Judge, I've obviously not seen the letter. Ms. Boone is correct. She has walked out of the last 2 visits when I've tried to review things with her. Just so the court knows, I've spent probably 20 hours, a little bit more, a little bit less, with Ms. Boone. She has lots of lists, lots of questions in reviewing the court file. She was distressed previously about having access to her lawyers. I have taken collect phone calls from her that are at my expense. JAC doesn't reimburse you because I think it's important for clients to have access. I have
Hang on,
spent,
please. No one's interrupted you this morning, Ms. Boone.
as I said, I've spent over 20 hours going through her questions, going through her lists. When I tried to update her with regard to the depositions that I took recently, she opted to exit the jail conference. When I tried to review some things with regard to discovery as to things I wanted to make sure she was aware of, she walked out. She has asked me repeatedly for a copy of some medical records. Based on the discovery I got from the previous attorneys, one of the copies of those medical records had her handwritten notes. So she had a copy given to her previously. She'd reviewed them with previous attorneys. I sent her a new copy. Some of the things that she thinks are important from a lawyer perspective, perhaps I don't attach the same importance to, and you try to explain that to a client. I know the court's in a difficult position, but at this point, we're at that impasse of, if she walks out of every conference that I have with her, I'm not sure what that says about the attorney-client relationship.
Ma'am, you said there was something else that you had other than a 58-page submittal or letter. What other information is it that you're seeking to have me take a look at?
It's things that I've been working on in the meantime. It's things that she likes to tell me is not necessary, but I know for a fact it is necessary. She likes to, in quotes, put things to rest all the time and constantly tells me I'm not having this conversation with you. So I'm not going to waste my time, and I, being in jail, have supposedly abundant amounts of. She's not going to waste my time because she's not going to explain something to me. And I have taken it upon myself to explain it to myself because she refuses to do so. I don't understand what it is that she has against me. I have told her from day one that her snotty attitude was inappropriate, and I try very hard to bear with her and her attitude. I don't know what it is that I'm doing wrong to her, but I feel that her attitude has equaled prejudice, which is not in my favor, especially considering she supposedly represented my life.
Okay. Give me an example of, if you could, of items that you believe are important that Ms. Cashman is not giving attention to or dismissing as you may have framed it.
Yes, Your Honor. She likes to tell tell me that I don't like her answers. She's not giving me any answers to dislike, and I have written 3 pages worth of questions, and I'm still waiting for her and any other attorney to actually answer for me, such as, why can't I have a bond? Why can't I have a download of my phone? Why can't I speak to my investigator? Why can't I have my medical records? Why can't I fully utilize my constitutional rights? There's 3 pages worth of questions that I have.
What constitutional rights specifically?
I'm very leery about having a fair trial at this point. There's a handful of other amendments that I have been researching and working on and trying to incorporate. To me, what I have written to you is obvious, and apparently from the correspondence that I get from the world, South Korea was the last place that I received correspondence. They obviously see the same thing. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong other than wanting to have a very successful outcome. It's just been long and drawn out, and I believe that God obviously believes in me as much as I do him in order for him to give me this very unique adventure that I am on, and I'm doing my best to let everyone know who I really am as opposed to the malicious murderer that everyone thinks that I am. I don't feel that she can do that properly. I still always, the reason why I'm here is to hope that she will come in with a gentle, softer side and actually listen to what it is that I'm saying and see the bigger picture other than what the one avenue that she keeps going down. There's other ways to win and more than one way. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not saying that I'm trying to remove her. I'm just trying to ask you, please, forgive me for having to ask you for this. If you could please let her know, please, to just be nice to me and have a welcoming attitude, and things will probably change, and I will not get up and I walk out. Please don't lie to me. Please don't give me half-truths. And
What instances where there's been falsities or lies that have been told to you by Ms. Cashman? Can you give me an example?
my biggest one, Your Honor, is for me being here ongoing 5 years, no one has ever bothered to try to get me a bond.
What's the lie? You said that she has lied to you. What is the lie?
The process of getting a bond. She lied to my brother in regards to telling him that he would need to come down to the courthouse to have multiple photographs taken for documentation. He would have to bring the security information, deeds to his house, financial statements, so on and so forth. And the icing on the cake was to be aware of all of the news camera crews and everyone that's going to be there in order to document him being there to do what he's going to for the bond. What is a bondsman for? She's supposed to just do the motion for the bond, and then from there, the bondsman and I and whomever else are to work it out.
So what part of that is a lie?
I just simply wanted to have her do a motion for a bond hearing.
But the statement that you said is that Ms. Cashman, who's an officer of the court, has lied to you. What you've provided me so far is not evidence of any lies based on the severity of the charge.
I believe, because she's not fully explained it to me other than what she's asked me for that I tried to provide to her, was that I just need to give her an address. And that's what I gave to her, and then it turns into everything else. And then it turns into all these other different stories of why she won't do or why she has said certain things. It always changes and it mutates after I ask her for certain things, not just for the bond, but for other things also.
Okay, well, let's focus on the bond issue, because you said that she's lied to you, and what you've told me so far, none of that is inaccurate.
So how is it though, because I don't have any experience prior to this, I don't know the process of getting a bond other than what I have read, and it's just for her to do a bond, a motion for a bond hearing. But I didn't know that anyone, all of the other inmates, even officers, have ever said that they've had to do that process in order to have photographs taken and documented and news crews and visit to his house. He's not posting my bond, which I told her 1,000,001 times, but she still spooked him by asking by him something that he's going to have to, and it would threaten his security clearance considering he's in the service, the military. So she totally deterred me from having my brother's address in order for me to have a motion for a bond. No one else has even bothered to even ask me for one, and I will be honest with you in the court. I know for a fact with however sky high my limit would be for my bond to receive, I know for a fact unless my fans would set up GoFundMe pages or God's will or however else it is He planned on for me to have it paid, if at all, my point is to utilize my rights to have a bond. And with the information that I have included in here to you, for the amount of saturation of publicity, there's nowhere that I could go even if I were to be an in quotes flight risk because of the amount of information that everybody already knows about me, what I look like, and what I eat apparently, and so many other things. There's nowhere I could go if I were to even think about being a flight risk. It's just the fact that I would like please to have a bond so I can say that I actually achieved something while I was incarcerated.
Okay.
There's other things, there's so many other questions that I have to ask.
Which are outlined in your submittals there, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Ms. Cashman, briefly.
Judge, there's clearly a conflict with what I'm going to tell you are false allegations Ms. Boone is making about me, and my continued representation of her. As I said, I've spent 20 hours with this client going over her questions and her issues in detail. With regard to the brother and the bond hearing, yes, I contacted her brother. I explained to her brother and I explained to her. You can't just write a bond motion and the judge grants it because of the allegations. You have to come forward with proof. I asked her brother if he was willing to come to court and testify. He raised the issue to me about his security clearance and would the media be there. I never told him he had to provide pictures or a deed to a house. What I said was, the media's been in the courtroom for all the hearings, and it's likely that they would be there for the bond hearing, and that your face could be on the television, and it was a concern for him. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. But Judge, I can't spend all my time defending what I'm doing and at the same time be effectively preparing a case for trial. In these situations, I know it puts the court in a very difficult position. As I see it, Ms. Boone has a couple options. Number one, she can ask you to represent herself. She has the right to. You have a Feretta hearing and determine whether she's capable. The court then has to address the issue of whether it's appropriate to appoint standby counsel. Obviously, since she believes not a word that I say after 40 years doing criminal defense, I'm probably not the right lawyer for that. The other thing is she gets one last lawyer, it either works or it doesn't. And sometimes, unfortunately, the court gets put in a position that you have to have that conversation with a client that you don't, if you want your counsel of choice, then you need to hire your counsel of choice, and everyone can certainly do that. And if you're indigent, the court can only go through this so many times with Ms. Boone coming to the court, and there ending up being irreconcilable differences such that the counsel that you have appointed can't move forward and provide effective assistance to counsel.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm inclined to go ahead and figure out where we can set this thing for trial and then kind of work backwards from there. I'm not dismissing your concerns, Ms. Boone. I'm going to take what it is that you've given to me. I'm going to circulate that to both Mr. Cacciatore and Ms. Cashman. I will review it, and I will schedule a hearing to address any of the issues in your submittals if one is necessary. Okay? All right. Ms. Cashman, you had advised some of your unavailability for vacations that you have previously scheduled and or other time certain trials that you have in front of Judge Harris.
And on June 21st, I have a trial case management with Judge Marquez on a case that's likely at this point, and obviously we'll find out the final date at case management, likely to be set July 22nd, but if that gets pushed out, that makes August and September a little more difficult considering the trials I already have set then. The dates I'm out in September while I'm looking at the calendar is the 14th to the 19th.
All right, that's not a trial period for my division, so that shouldn't be a conflict. The trial case management that you have on July 21.
June 21.
June 21, I'm sorry. When is her trial period? Judge Marquez's trial period following that?
She doesn't really have a trial period because she's the post-conviction division. And I'm not clear how she sets things, and I think that,
You have a range for where her
No.
calendar may be available for that? Okay.
no. I think it's based on when she has post-conviction motions set, and that it's my understanding from Judge Chu that she was scheduled to be back up for part of his July-August trial period, but because she doesn't have a regular trial docket, I can't really answer that question.
How long do you think it would take us to, A, pick a jury, B, try the case?
I think we would probably be 5 days.
Including jury selection?
Yeah, a day for jury selection, and I think approximately 3 days for testimony, and then a day for charging conference and closing.
Ms. Cashman?
5 days is probably a fair estimate unless something changes, Judge.
Okay. So the court already has special set trials in July and August. We could set this matter at the beginning. My August trial period is supposed the first week. My last week of my period is the first full week of August, and it starts again on the last full week of August. So we could set it then, but I know that you have trial case management with Judge Marquez on the 20th or the 21st of June, which may impact that. So,
And I have a trial certain with Judge Harris August 5th, and
as do I. Mr.
August
Castore,
seems
we're
a bit
set for
difficult
September
for me.
9th. For a week,
Mr. Robinson.
for Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
So the options that I see it are, we could specially set this for the week of August 26th, or we set it for the trial period beginning September 30. The hiccup with that first week of September 30 is we have a court holiday on Thursday, October the 3rd, which would limit us to a 4-day trial period, which I don't believe is not sufficient. So that would take us to either October 7 or October 14. So based on the court's trial calendar, that's what I've got available. August 26th, October 7, or October 14.
I think the October 7 or October 14th is more realistic, Judge. I know that Mr. Cacciatore has other trials too, and other things on other judges' pretrial dockets, and those things.
We're specially set in July and in September. Mr. Cacciatore?
I think we can, I think October 7th is fine.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to specially set this matter for the second week of the September 30 trial period, beginning Monday, October 7th. We will set this matter for trial case management on the 24th of September, right? On September 24 at 9 a.m. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. We'll do you at 1:30 in the afternoon.
It's Tuesday, September 24th.
Tuesday, September 24 at 1:30 in the afternoon for our trial case management. Trial date certain on October the 7th. Deputy, if you could, please grab the 2 packages of submittals from Ms. Boone. Oh, I thought it was 2 different envelopes, ma'am. Okay. I will review that, and after the review, the court will either issue an order or set this matter for hearing based on what it is that's been presented by Ms. Boone. Mr. Cacciatore, anything else we need to address this morning, sir? Ms. Cashman, anything else we need to address?
Not that I'm aware of at this time, Judge.
Ms. Boone, is there anything else you need to bring to my attention at this time?
I'm grateful for your time. I forgive you for having to utilize it. But I really do hope that you review thoroughly what it is that I'm asking for from my attorney who's supposed to be representing me for the trial that's supposedly happening in October, late September. So if you could please, I don't understand how I'm supposed to be able to go into a trial when I don't have what it is to properly defend myself.
Ma'am, I've asked for your submittals. I will be reviewing them. All right, thank you. All right, y'all, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thanks, Judge.
It's a hard knock life for her.
Sucks to suck, Sarah Boone. Holy shit. Her fans will pay her bond? Who are her fans? Suitcase salesman? I don't understand, man.
Yeah, she don't got no fans. Sorry about it, Sarah, but you're going to prison.
It's like she's just is refusing to recognize that she is in jail for murder and going to trial for murder. I cannot believe they have let her go to 8 attorneys.
It's insane.
Letting that happen is it's freaking
Well, and 2
endless.
judges. This is judge number
Yeah.
2.
I know.
Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah, she had a letter from Korea, don't you know? Well, I'm sure someone in Korea just...
All her fans in Korea, they're going to be paying that bond that she will not get because she's a murderer.
Mm-hmm.
When you are being held for a murder trial, you don't get bond. That is not how this works.
Not very often.
No.
Not very often.
Boone
Well,
has a Samsonite deal, right? Maybe.
It is wild to listen to her. And all of the, accusing her attorney of lying, but she can't come up with a single thing she lied about.
Or violating her constitutional rights, but cannot come up with a single one.
Mm-hmm.
She is so full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
That poor attorney, big mistake, gave her phone number and takes her calls collect. Dude, why are you doing that?
Don't do any more of that. She just shook you down in front of the judge. No more.
She sure did.
But this is why she's fired every attorney. Because she calls their offices nonstop and harasses the hell out of them and acts like this is the only case on the planet of Earth they have and thinks they should be giving her lip service like 40 hours a week. It's insane. Yeah.
Well, and also she doesn't like their responses because she just is going to keep asking till she gets the answer she wants, not what the law says.
Yeah.
Well, and at one point she said that the attorney needed to treat her with more kindness and to be more loving.
A softer side.
The fuck? She's your defense attorney, dummy, not your counselor. What the hell?
Not your BFF. Demanding that the judge instruct her attorney to be nice to her. Sarah. I can only imagine the way you speak to your attorney, especially knowing that you stormed out of your last 2 meetings with her.
Well, and she has to have a pretend judge? Is she like objecting to her attorney in their conversations? Can you imagine this? She's like, now listen, Sarah, you're not going to be able to get bond on this. Your Honor, I object. Like, she said she has a pretend judge in her meetings with her. Can you imagine?
Mm-hmm. It's just bananas. So, yeah, I had to show that whole thing to you guys because holy shit. Yeah.
Right. She would have had a bond hearing in the beginning. Right. She's been in jail for like 5 years over this mess.
A little more than, almost 4. Yeah.
Almost 4. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. She is such a little shit.
Yeah, she is the ultimate. Can I speak to the manager?
Oh, she is.
Lydia also wondered, where did she learn the rules for hide and seek?
Yeah. She doesn't know them.
Well,
and I don't know if you guys remember it. We played it way back when this all happened. Mm-hmm. But the body cam footage of the officers that respond to her house when this happened are fucking chilling. She is so nonchalant about it. and just, I don't know what happened. He's just dead, you know?
Mhm.
It was really terrifying just to see how. And I know there was a history of domestic violence here. She's accusing him of
Mhm.
cheating. There were some things.
Yeah.
Did he deserve to die suffocating in a suitcase? I don't think
That's
anyone does.
that's
Yikes.
still illegal, no matter what someone did to you.
Right. This was not like self defense, this was revenge. And
Right.
that's murder.
And in the videos, she says things like that. Well, then you shouldn't have cheated. I guess you
Hmm.
shouldn't have choked me. I guess you shouldn't have. Yeah, this is what you get for lying to me and
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm a huge domestic violence advocate. Well, not advocate, but a victim's advocate.
Right.
But in this case, I'm going to say I would imagine they went blow for blow. I would imagine that Sarah was very abusive with Jorge as well. It's a
I would
mess.
imagine so,
They were
just
probably
watching
toxic
her.
as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That poor woman. She's so done with this. She was
Mhm.
sort of hinting around to the judge, like, "Hey, so one possibility here might be this, and that wouldn't be me. Like, please, for the love of God, let me off this case." And what does he do? Sets the trial date.
She doesn't believe a word I say, so I should exit stage left. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we couldn't be done today unless we talked about this bananas mugshot right here.
Oh,
Who the
Jesus
hell is
Christ.
this?
It is a good question.
Is this Hiplos? Does Chad have a demon?
A happy one? Is this what kind of possession is this?
I
There's
am
a part.
I'm
Oh, go
blown
ahead.
away. No, I'm just dumb. I'm dumbfounded.
There's a part of me that thinks he's relieved. He's finally through this mess.
Mhm.
At least, there's some resolution. I would imagine that everyone in that case is feeling relieved, and he probably is too. But this is the weirdest fucking prison mugshot I have. It's even weirder than Lori's, and Lori's is cray cray.
Mhm. Well, like many of you
And
guys said, this is more emotion than he showed the entire trial.
yes, it is so bizarre.
I've never seen anything like it. When people started posting this going, Chad's mugshot is finally up, I went, that's not Chad. Holy shit, that is Chad.
Yeah,
I
it's
am
so weird.
dumbfounded. Yeah. I also
I
though,
don't think he has any. He's not on any drugs at all.
he
Guys, you gotta
wasn't.
understand.
Yeah.
In Idaho, it's a hard fight to get any medication in jail or prison. He's not on anything.
Yeah.
There's no way. The only way they'd medicate him is if he was a risk of harming himself or other people. And he
Mhm.
has never shown that ever.
Ever.
No, he is not wearing garments. You cannot wear garments in prison or jail.
No.
He's wearing whatever they give you on death row.
Mhm. I don't even know what to say about this.
It's really stunning. Robert Hidro says Chad is putting his shoulder to the wheel.
I hope he pushes along.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm sure he will.
Astonishing. But yeah, I think relief is a good thought. Maybe somebody said maybe they just told him a joke right before they took the picture. Maybe so. Maybe.
Usually people are not smiling in these pictures, though.
Right?
In other prison mugshots, they're not usually smiling.
No.
So weird.
It is so weird. Yeah. What'd they say? Say lethal injection.
Right? Jesus.
What would be
So
funny?
bizarre.
Anyway, we had to discuss because holy shit, that is something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
Don't make eye contact. Some people say his eyes follow you around the room in that picture.
right.
They kind of do.
It is beyond creepy. I don't even know what to say. Yeah. You know, I also wondered, the more I thought about, I'm sure we've given a lot of thought to the way that sentencing uh, segment went and the way he suddenly decided that he just didn't want to do mitigation. I really, I kind of had a thought, and maybe I'm wrong, but I thought, maybe knowing, I'm sure he knew it had been described to him that on death row he would be in solitary 23 hours a day. Maybe that's what he wanted. Maybe he
Maybe it
really
is.
did not want to be around other people. It sounds like in the Fremont County Jail, he did an extensive amount of reading the scriptures and writing. And I wonder if he just went, I don't want to be around other people. I don't want to deal with it. I'll for sure get my ass kicked, and I don't want to do that. So maybe this has been bad. I'm definitely going to lose. I don't want to be in general population.
Maybe he can be his own little prophet of a church in his own room, and
Maybe,
that's what he wants.
maybe
And
so.
visiting Lori in her portal.
Yep,
I don't know.
yep.
Joelle says, I don't think he wanted to be in general population. And I think that's very likely. I mean,
Mhm,
he is a very well known murderer.
mhm.
And what he did, I mean, yeah, are other inmates going to go after him? Yeah, they would.
Right, Angela. See, I think that's it. Doesn't want to be around the riffraff
Right.
because he's not a bad guy. He's a
No,
prophet. He's
he's
a
not a
prophet.
criminal. There are no murders here. Remember, Lori told us.
He
There
doesn't
are
want
no
to be around
murders here.
those terrible tattooed people.
Right.
And Chad also doesn't want to be around the brown people
Yes.
because all of those groups that he was involved in, like that AVAL group,
Super racist.
serious racism, homophobia, serious issues with those. I'm not saying everyone in those groups, but they have some serious issues with that. How racist is Chad? Gotta
I would
wonder.
imagine very.
Hmm. Yep. Yep. Will he have more appeal because he got the death penalty? Kind of. I mean, he gets the first appeal no matter what. That's the law. Everybody gets that as long as they file for it. They have to file. But
Mm-hmm.
after that, he will get more appeal resources for a while, but he will wear them out too. But he may not.
Mm-hmm.
I would it surprise anyone
If
at
he
this
goes
point if
for
he
him,
doesn't?
maybe he doesn't. Right.
Yeah.
Because he gets right now there are two appeals in process. One of them is the appeal of his sentence, the death sentence.
Hmm.
That's automatic, goes to the Supreme Court. And then there's the appeal of his conviction, and we
Hmm.
know that Pryor has already started the process for that and then very quickly vacated this case.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting those two, but then beyond that, it's up to him if he wants them or not.
Hmm.
Is
Yeah.
this prison hardcore in Idaho?
I wouldn't say it's
I mean,
hardcore like other like it's not
I,
Rikers,
no,
but
I don't think prisons in Idaho are super hardcore because they're not huge in population.
yeah.
There are not quite, there are only like 1.7 million people in this entire state.
Mhm.
So you think about, in big states, these giant prisons, ours are just not like that because we don't house that many people.
Mhm.
I mean, he's not going to have an easy life, but it's not super dangerous either, especially on death row because he's just kept separate.
Mhm. Yeah. So, don't know, but we thought that was pretty wild and we definitely had to share it. So, tomorrow we have a special report. We are going to do a deep dive. We've done a little bit of this, but there's a lot more to this story and we decided to go uh full bore. So, we are going to talk about the return to nature funeral home uh situation that's been happening in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and those people that ran it who are in a whole bunch more trouble now on completely other charges because
Other
as it turns
charges
out, they are just shit people left, right, and
all the
center.
way around. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, Pryor can't find any more evidence. He's done.
he's
Chad
not his
has new
attorney anymore.
attorneys now.
We haven't seen an announcement yet of who his appellate
Mm-mm.
attorneys are, but they will be appointed, and then there'll be a public notice that goes out about who will be representing him in his appeals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You haven't heard about this case in Colorado?
Oh, dear
Oh, you
godly.
guys.
Strap in.
Yeah, we're doing uh, what now with them? Oh, you just wait, Cammy. We will cover it tomorrow. It is a ton of shit. They are just the worst people, man,
Yep,
on
they
every
are just
level.
terrible human beings.
They
Terrible.
can't be trusted with dead bodies nor live ones, it turns out.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, we uncovered some stuff today that we went, no, this deserves an entire episode, just this.
It
So
does,
we're
yeah.
teaming up. We're each taking a part of it, and we're going to just really hit it hard. So that's what tomorrow is. So don't eat lunch or do. I don't know what to tell you. It's awful, but it needs to
It
happen.
is. It's rough.
Hey,
But it's
Shelly.
important because Boy, are we learning some stuff about how you got to be really careful who you trust in the funeral industry with your loved ones. Holy shitballs, you guys.
Hmm. We had no idea. No idea. Yeah. So, but that's it for tonight. So, thank you for being here. Please like, share, follow, or yeah, like, share, follow. Those are the things. Come join us on Patreon. We
Comment.
promise we are going to hit Patreon real hard this month and put out 4 episodes.
We
So,
owe you 4. We're going to do them all.
hmm yep, we're going to get them all in. So, definitely come see us over there. If you go to truecrimesquad.com, you can find ways to tip us over there. You can also just find ways to connect with us through our stores, our Discord. You guys, if you haven't come over to
Our
the Discord,
socials.
it is super fun, and all of our socials. Yeah,
Yeah, our
yeah,
Discord is a blast. There, you guys are wonderful people. And there are so many fun conversations going on over there and really
yeah.
supportive, positive conversations going on over
Mhm,
there. Plus all the crime because, we're doing our first book in a book club, and the book club is going to become an organized book club. I just threw the first book out to get us
mhm,
started, but we're going to do some reading together, and
mhm,
it's super fun. Come join us.
mhm. Oh, Cammy needs a pot stirrer garden flag. That's a great idea.
Ooh, yeah.
Tomorrow is 3. Let me one more time. I'll throw this up. I think we'll just do this for a while.
Yeah.
So, what Tuesdays and Thursdays are at 3 Mountain. 3 Mountain. Yep. All
Tuesdays and
righty.
Thursdays.
Yes. Yeah,
And
Tuesdays and
Wednesdays are
Thursdays.
at 7, but we're going to make an announcement this week that we are moving Wednesdays to 6, but we're going to
Mhm.
give it a couple of weeks of notification first because we have had a Wednesday live at 6
At
for,
7.
or at 7, I mean, for like 5 years.
Yeah.
So we got to move that slowly because we don't want anybody missing out. But
No,
we
and
would
we've
like to just
already
be at
just
3 and at 6. That just makes it easy.
yeah, way easier for everybody to remember and be present for. So that's coming, but that won't. Yeah, we'll let you know for sure, but that'll be in a couple of weeks. Yeah, but yeah, we realize this is dumb. We have too many times going here, and also for
Yeah,
our East Coasters, we know that 6 o'clock would be better for you guys as well,
yeah,
especially because Wednesday nights are also when we do the watch party. And now we can do the watch party an hour earlier, which we know will be better for some of you guys as well. So,
yeah.
yeah, that's what's up. All righty, you guys. Well, that's what we've got. So we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you so much. This has been yet another production of the True Crime Squad.
Bye, everybody.